I've caught something else. And it's not my line by the looks of it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good evening and welcome to my next session. We are on the 15th of July 2026. Isn't this month going so quick? Well, it is for me, it seems, anyway. So today, I've come down to Bexhill on the best that at the moment can be offered, and that is that we are on the best 3 to 4 days of the spring tide, and this is kind of right in the middle. The details for the conditions for tonight's session will be up on top of the screen. So I'm here for the high tide, and I'm going to be here from now, obviously, but I'm actually fishing from 10 p.m. right around to about 1 o'clock, 10 past 1 in the morning, and that is really the last 3 hours of the high tide. I've already set my rods up ready, and as usual, I'm just going to start off with a scratching rig just for the moment. And that will be on my left hand rod. To the right rod, which is my Century Tip Tornado Super Match Graphics, that has got my pulley dongle rig on, and again the information for that rig will be up there right on the left here. Okay, I'm just going to get some lug out there right now. That's really all I'm going to be focusing on. And for tonight, I managed to get some nice lug. I got them, when did I get them? I got them yesterday evening, and they're all gutted, but they're fresh. And I've sorted them as I normally would into larger size ones, and the smaller ones I keep separate. I just got a couple of packs out for the moment, but that's what I do. I put a little S on there for small and normally an L for large. This is so that when I'm setting up scratching rigs or using hooks that are very small, the scratching rigs in this particular case is only size 4. So I'm going to use small lug. There's no point me ripping apart good, juicy, large lug when I've already got small already. Unfortunately, on an easterly wind, and it's picking up a little bit now. We've had an easterly wind the last couple of days. The temperature is 21 degrees and falling, and by tonight, coming on for 12 midnight and 1 o'clock, it'll be about 17 degrees. I'm making the most of the conditions I have got, the spring tide, the darkness, and the best lug and hooks, rigs that I can throw at it. It's a beautiful night tonight regardless. So I'm just going to go and do the best that I can and see if I can catch something tonight. It's actually only a 2 hook, not a 3 hook. And we'll just get the first one out. I'll just put this one straight ahead, I think. 6 ounce lead on there. Get my head torch on. Let's get that head torch on. Give me some light and get that first rig casted out. First cast for the night. I didn't make the best of the cascade that I had, did I? Can be a little bit fiddly sometimes, these cascades. Ooh. Okay, lucky I didn't get a crack off there because I actually hit the deck. For this particular rig, is bass, if there's any out there. So for that reason, I will make a sausage lug. So the lug are not bad. They're a lot better than last time, a lot better. Actually got a bit of meat to them. This little dispenser thing that I've got with it, I don't really rate that very high, to be quite honest with you. Just testing the grounds here. For a bass. We've got a 3/0 hook for this job. Full circle hook. I normally would use a pulley pennel rather than a dongle for this. But being that I've got this one already out and ready to go, that's absolutely fine. It's all well presented. There we go. Now we can see those tips. Portsmouth. We got 1/0 and 2/0 hooks on there. 18-inch snood on the top, 15 on the bottom. We can go for longer flower traces tonight because it's not that turbulent at the moment. We'll get this Portsmouth hanging up, ready to go. Although these are said to be big lug, large lug, as I said, they're not huge, so I am going to put 2 on there. So I wonder what we will catch tonight. Be fantastic to catch absolutely any fish tonight. I mean anything. But it'd be great if I actually managed to get a bass tonight. Although the whitefish haven't been seen coming in. The mackerel haven't been seen coming in. And there's been no reports of bass on a wider scale being caught. There's been a few here and there, but not in my area that I'm aware of. Obviously there could be, but I can only go by what I read that's locally. I'm gonna now set up another dongle rig, but this time I'm actually gonna put bluey and squid on there, and I'm gonna have that hanging up for the next cast also. There's always gonna be some rigs there ready to go straight out as soon as I bring it back in. 3/0 circle hook, stud length 33 inches. So, there's some squid, bought that a few days ago, and I've got a whole bluey here. I bought a bigger one this time, just 3 big ones that I could just chop up. You can see there, it's a decent size, so I can choose the size that I want. The other blueys, some of them were quite small. Not as if that's a problem, but at least I've got the choice, you know, of having it chopped up the size that I want it. And don't know if you can see, but already the tide is hitting the shingles already. Done that for the moment. And squid wise, there we go. Easterly wind's picking up now. I'm getting a little bit of action on that left rod maybe. There's actually a northerly wind that's developed into an easterly wind, northeast or east northeast. There we go. Right now we're at 10:14. And hopefully you can see that. You can see the wind's coming from behind me. From the easterly direction. (15 to 29 mile per hour). 17 degrees. I have bought another little tiny mini clock that I'm going to be putting on my rod rest, but I'm just making up a proper holder for it because the one that it came in was pretty flimsy. So I've designed one in CAD and I'm going to be printing it out in 3D print, and then it's going to be much more robust. I'm going to make it so it slots onto the rod rest at the top. Hopefully this one would be better than the last one. Of course, with Temu, it always seems to be the case that you look at a picture and you think, oh yeah, it's going to be about that big kind of thing, and then it turns up it's like that. It always seems to be that way with stuff. I still haven't got down to what was causing that clicking on the reel handles. So what I've done is I've tried to just oil up the actual handles itself that turns with the bearings inside. Maybe it's that. Other than that, I can't really see what it could be that's causing the clicking. If it does it tonight, I'm going to have to investigate a little bit closer. So the gripper's broke on that. Quite surprised about that. There is absolutely no lug left on that. Are those crabs having a go at it, I wonder? That is what you call a really stripped rig. Hadn't been out there too long either. One thing I'm not going to do is tighten up my drags really tight. I think I've learnt my lesson from that smooth hound when I'm very close to lost my my rod and reel. Very, very close. I'm going to bring the right hand rod in, that dongle that had the sausage lug on there. $10.28. I did get this little watch from Temu. I don't normally like to wear watches, but this one is so light and small. See there? Just a quick way of just seeing what the time is. So yeah, 10:28. It's about 28 minutes into the last 3 hours of the high tide. I've got to get my swing in, turn, and I've got to look up. Whoa, I've got to aim for the sky. Not looking high enough, it just allows you to just do a flat cast. So right now the left rod is the rod that's got the dongle and the sausage lug on. The right rod has got the scratching rig on. Both of them have got a lug on. There you go. Yeah, we got our first fish on, so a blank's been saved tonight already. It feels very, very light. I shall let you know in a minute whether I've still got something on or whether it's got off. Albeit an eel. But a blank's been saved. These make such a mess of your rig. They really, really, really do. There's our blank saved anyway. To my right is where there's some rocks over that direction. I risked it a few times fishing here by casting over to my right, and it's paid off every time. So we've caught a fish. So blank is off the cards now. So that's something. That's brilliant. Aside from that, it's actually a really nice night. The heat has been quite intensive for the last couple of weeks. Lots of nights of not sleeping properly with the fans on full. So being out here with a bit of breeze is actually quite nice. I'm setting myself up another Portsmouth rig. This one, the top snood is a 2.0 and a 3.0 hook on that, and that's 26 inches longer. Bottom is a 2.0 and a 3.0 on that, and that's an 18 inch. So this is a longer snood, more flow to the trace, and we'll see how we get on with that. You ideally want 4 rigs. 2 out, 2 hanging up ready to go. So I've got 2 Portsmouths now and 2 dongles. I'm actually going to put some squid on this one, being that the hooks are a little bit bigger. Squid and lug, maybe. I shall put this one on the bottom where I might have a chance of a ray. Although I'd prefer to think of the dongle or a Frio panel setup for that job. There we go. And we'll get that shank of the hook just pinned down on that. And the top I'll just put just like there you go. We are now set for the next lot of rigs to go out. And it's 10:48 right now. I'm going to now get that left rod in, because I don't think that left rod's even come in yet. And that is with the sausage lug on it. This is the time to tell whether we're going to get that clicking or not. Well, it's good to see that the is anchored in. Feels like I could have a fish on. It's gone a bit slack now. Let's see what's happened to our lug. So the sausage lug is still on there. A little bit of seaweed by the looks of it, and a tiny little bit. Seaweed smells quite strong tonight. Right, I'm now going to put out my first fishy bait for tonight. This will be testing the fishy baits now. It's going to be our dongle, squid and bluey. And I'm going to need to move my gear up a little bit more. I'm cast out quite a long way, but both rods are to my right. Of course, the only thing when I've got my lamp on this bright is that I'm completely blown out. That's the only problem with the lamp. I haven't got my diffuser on there for some reason, actually. The diffuser would have helped a bit. So now it's just a waiting game now. We've got some fishy baits out there now. We've got a bluey and squid, and we've got a squid and lug cocktail, as well as just lug on the top snood of the Portsmouth. I'll turn this inside out. So that we've got all the meat showing there. This bluey is so juicy. An inside out bluey. Absolutely dripping with juices. Be nice to catch a ray tonight. Watch my rods and see if anything takes it. What a night tonight though. Beautiful. Be nice if we can catch something a little bit better than we've got so far. So what about you guys? Have you been catching much recently? I haven't tried to fish during the daytime because it's been crazy bright and crazy hot. Normally in those conditions I can't catch much, if not anything at all in those conditions. Especially when the water was clear. Clear, bright sun, very hot. So instead I try my chances in the evening. I pick the spring tides just to give myself a bit more of a chance. And of course, when we get some southwesterlies again, then things will start to pick up again, especially when the bass start to come in. Whitebait, mackerel and bass. They're the order that we're going to be seeing it. Normally, that's what to look out for anyway. Caught some nice bass in the past years. 2014, I remember particularly being a pretty good year. Especially like when you're fishing during the daylight, lovely sun. The footage is obviously much, much better on camera during the daytime. But so far the Pocket 3 camera has done me really well. Quite chuffed with the quality of it compared with other cameras that I've tried. The Action 4 camera, which I've got there, that's again brilliant during the daylight, and it's when it's starting to go down to dusk or the early dawn, but when it starts to get dark it does get a bit grainy, but you know, we are quite a few versions back now. We're in Action 6 now. But for those of you interested in tech and stuff like that, the one to look for is going to be the Insta360 X6 360 camera. I can see once the 360 camera is getting into that 1-inch sensor arena, then it's going to really open up some gates for me for fishing at night time. For those of you who don't know much about 360 cameras, like the Insta360 X5, which is the most popular one, what it basically does is it records basically 360 degrees. And then when you get home, you can then literally choose what the frames you want for your video. When you get home, you can just point the camera anywhere on the footage you've recorded. And I can imagine, and I have imagined for quite a while now, just how good that's going to be able to always get in the video when the rod tip goes, always get the important moments caught on camera. And to be able to reframe myself. See, at the moment I'm talking to the camera and it's not recording the rod tips. 360 camera will be doing both at the same time. But anyway, back to the fishing. We've got nothing but the best quality bait tonight. That's all you can really ask for or give. Best quality bait, sharp hooks, maintain rigs, and mix your baits up a bit. So at the moment we're kind of within the kind of, say 60 yards to 100 yards kind of area at the moment. And I will start to cast in a bit closer. I normally do it closer to start with. But 11, we've got 2 hours to the high. So I will put some of those cast in very close to really test the ranges to see if we can get where the fish are. But the only real reason that I've casted a longer way out is because I know there's rocks over to the right. So there's a bit of something there, some structure, holding structure there. Of course, my last cast was meant to go straight up, but I had a thumb slip. Thumb slips are normally due to bad timing of a cast. You turn into the cast too soon and it puts more pressure suddenly, and then your thumb can slip. But that seems to happen to me. I wouldn't say I'm what you call a natural caster. I've had to put a lot of effort and time into casting, and it only takes a couple of weeks of me not casting, and then it doesn't go so well. For pendulum casting especially. But then I'm not really fishing daytime much. So I'm kind of going for no fishing for about 2 weeks sometimes. And then when I do go back to fishing, it's straight into a pendulum in the dark. So there's absolutely nothing happening at the moment with those rod tips. Loosen off that drag enough that I don't get my rods pulled in. This is a good example and a good time to really highlight how the rod tips differ between my two rods. The right rod is my Ziplex, and you'll see a lot of movement with the tidal movement and wind, okay? Look at my Tip Tornado Super Match graphics. There's just absolutely no movement unless I get a bite. Yet, it can pick up a very light and small fish. They're both fantastic rods. And my Ziplex GSI has stood its test of time. It's got to be getting on for 30 something years old now, that rod. So we are at 11:17 now. I expect to catch something within the next hour and a half. But I really want to get one of those rigs out to the left of me. That light is so bright in my eyes. Let's tighten up that tip a little bit so we can see bike registration a bit more clearer. If you enjoy watching my fishing sessions, leave a comment below and give us a thumbs up. And if you want to come back and see more, then subscribe. I really appreciate it when you do give me some input and some feedback. Let's get that right rod in. There isn't nothing on there. I think the clicking noise is actually in the handle itself. When I'm putting pressure on it, as I'm turning it, I'm not hearing the clicking. Now I'm going to let go of the pressure of it. The lug's still on there. That's my Portsmouth rig. Looks like it's a little bit caught up there. I'm going to chuck out that combination one. Still a Portsmouth rig, but it's got quite a combination on there of bait, squid, and lug on the bottom, and just lug on the top. And these have got 3/0 hooks on the top snods. So, yes, it's actually anchored in front of me, so that's fine. Now, it could be a fish on that. Not a tiny one. Give him a little bit of a fight. I've caught something else. And it's not my line by the looks of it. So I've caught a rig, somebody else's rig. Lots and lots of line here. I thought I was actually into a fish here, but I wasn't. But I've got myself a rig. But that's some line that I've got out of the sea now. Bluey and squid has not been touched. Move on. What's this one? This one's just bluey on a dongle. Starting to push in a bit more now. So I didn't get very far at all out there. And he went over to the far right there. "11:46, we're coming up for midnight, and then we've got 1 hour to the high. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ooh. Well, you're onto something here. And it ain't light. Wow, that ain't light. Oh, slack. Oh, it's still on. Ah, it hadn't come off. Damn, it ain't come off. That was because I didn't get the cast properly. There was something decent size on that. Right, let's cast that straight back out. There was something on that and it was decent. The splashdown didn't release. So there was something attacking it and got onto it. I didn't set the lead, did I? Didn't set the breaker. That was something quite significant in size. Something was attacking that but couldn't get hooked because the Gemini clip down didn't release. And the reason why it didn't release is because I had a thumb slip. Now, what's happened to this? Oh dear. Not doing well tonight, are we? This one's got caught up in the middle of the rig. Never released either. Oh dear. So that one didn't release either. That felt like about 10 pounds, at least 10 pounds. It's now midnight, we're into the last hour. This one, maybe it could have caught something, but it hadn't released. That was a Portsmouth rig. That never normally happens, and I've had that happen twice now tonight. And I'll say that's a reflection on my casting. I'm going to put a whole bluey head on that, because that's what I've got left now. I'm down to the bluey head. So, last cast on that, I'm going to put that bluey head out there. if this don't attract a fish, this bluey head with a bit of a body on it, then nothing will. This is a Portsmouth brig I'm putting this on. And also chuck some squid on the top. Just a bit of squid by itself. Not a massive piece, but then the hook's not massive either, so that's just fine. $12.24. Looking at the water, it looks like we've already hit that high tide point. What I'm going to do is when I get these in, I'm going to replace them with the fresh ones that I've got hanging and then just put the other ones away. But that water's flat. There was a bit of movement there about 25 minutes ago. High tide's supposed to be, I think it's a bit like 1:10. It's a real shame. There was something big that was attacking that rig. But it hadn't released. Right, last cast for the night. It's now 10 to 1 in the morning. 1 o'clock is the deadline for this particular session. So I think that this is it for tonight. There may be a surprise on one of those rods, but I've packed the other 2 rigs away now, and I'm basically packing away as much as I can, just leaving those 2 out just for a little bit. If there is something of a surprise that comes on either of these 2 rods, I will extend this video, but if not, I will call it for the night, and to say thanks again for watching. It wasn't a blank. Yeah, it was a little eel, but it wasn't a blank. I knew that the conditions tonight wasn't ideal, but they're the best that are available right now, and so that's basically what I went for. I went for basically a nighttime session where I stand a bit more chance, and it's a spring tide, but having easterly and northeast winds, not good at all. It's been incredibly hot the last week, and that's going to be affecting the fish, most definitely be affecting the fish. So anyway, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and join me again for next time, where it should be more favourable, and I will definitely be getting some daytime sessions in once those bass start to show, and we can get some more exciting footage for you. Anyway, I will let you go for tonight, and thanks again, and see you soon.